Did you know Woodrow Wilson signed a proclamation designating Mother's Day in 1914 as a national holiday to honor mothers on the second Sunday in May? This Mother's Day, if our moms are living or have passed away, we all remember their love and nurturing care. Some mothers have more responsibilities when caring for one or more of their children who struggle with a rare disease. As a mom and disability advocate, I know the healing powers of a mother's love. Recently, we traveled to Orlando to the annual National Ataxia Foundation Conference. Ataxia is a rare genetic disease inherited from both parents, moms and dads, who share 2 copies of a defective gene. This affects 1 in every 50,000 people. We introduced the National Ataxia Foundation Executive Director, Mike Parent, to South Florida parents Mike and Mary Ramazio and their daughter, Olivia. Mike teamed them up with Cindy and Jerry DeMint, ataxia parent advocates from California. The conference links families and medical professionals with information and research to empower families like the Ramazios to begin their journeys as advocates. Mike, thank you so much for joining us. And just explain to us some of the important issues that are affecting those that have ataxia. But first of all, we need to know, what is ataxia?
Ataxia comes from the Greek word which means lack of order or lack of coordination. Ataxia is a group of often fatal degenerative neurological disorders which impacts 150,000 people in the United States. It can be affected by a dominant or recessive genes, and there's also sporadic forms which have no known genetic link or family history.
You know, I do a lot of medical reporting, Mike, but I must say that I had never really heard of ataxia until a family member was diagnosed with this. Now, when did the National Ataxia Foundation begin?
Sure. The foundation started in 1957 by a family in Minnesota. For generations in their family had this disease called ataxia. And in fact, 2 of the founders, Henry Scott and John W. Scott, when they were children, they would walk to school, and they would cross the railroad tracks. And every day they would walk on these railroad tracks to see if their balance was becoming impaired. And if anyone fell, they were concerned that they were going to be the next person to get ataxia.
There are numerous types. What are the most common types of ataxia?
The most common recessive form is Friedreich's ataxia. And in fact, the gene carrier rate in Friedreich's ataxia is 1 in 100 people in the United States carry that affected gene. And in the Acadian population in Louisiana, 1 in 70 carry that recessive gene.
Tell us about the mission of the Ataxia Foundation.
Sure. The mission of the Ataxia Foundation is to serve ataxia families through support, education, and research. And we do that through funding worldwide ataxia research. Just this past year, we had over 100 research applications from over 16 countries apply for funding. We were able to fund 22 of the most promising of these studies. Also, the foundation is a world leader in providing educational materials on ataxia, as well as support groups that we have across the country.
We took Cindy and Jerry DeMint off the show floor to join us for a quick interview. Cindy DeMint is a co-leader for the Orange County, California Ataxia Support Group and a mother on a mission to create more awareness of the diverse medical and neurological conditions that affect the lives of those with ataxia. Jerry DeMint also takes on a role as a dad, advocate, and caregiver to his 3 sons. Cindy, tell me, you have 3 children.
We have actually 4 children.
Okay.
3 have ataxia. Basically, my son was 17 and he started losing his balance, and a friend of ours thought he was drunk. And I was surprised because he's not a party kid. He likes his computer games. And so we started investigating and going to different doctors to find out why his balance was off. we went to 4 different neurologists and no one could tell us what it was. One of the guys told me to come back in 10 years. My son was, willing to do whatever. We did spinal taps and all these different testing. We finally did an MRI and the doctor said, I know what it is, it's ataxia. But I don't have any idea what to do with it. You've got to get to a National Ataxia Center. So we were lucky enough that UCLA is close by, and we were able to get there and see Dr. Susan Perlman, and she confirmed the diagnosis. And then what? We didn't know what to do. And she had told us, don't go home and look this up on the internet, which we did right when we got home. We looked it up and realized that our children were probably going to end up in wheelchairs.
That's not something you expect raising your kids. You don't expect them at 32 years old to be in a wheelchair and be supported by yourself and your family. It's just not something you expect.
So this journey for both of you, it's really affected your entire family, has it not?
Yes, absolutely. My daughter, who did not get either recessive gene, they have ataxia AOA2. Their type of ataxia is rare in the ataxias. So we were battling, just any information we could get on it, and it affects their optic nerve.
Oh.
So their vision is impaired. So the driving, they never were able to drive. It's very difficult now for them to write their name. All their fine motor skills, are affected. So we prepare their meals for them, we shower them, we take care of them.
With all these different challenges that your family has faced in life, it continues to get more difficult. But attending conferences like this allows you both to have more hope for their future, correct?
Absolutely.
So it's very empowering for the entire family.
Yes.
And this has turned not just parental advocacy, but self-advocacy as well, right?
Yes. I think the first thing we wanted to do is raise awareness because no one knows what ataxia is. And we knew then that awareness was huge, and we really had to get the word out.
Well, Rosalie, here's what my boys have done. They've started a Facebook page called Brothers on a Quest for a Cure for AOA Type 2, and they've spread the word among their friends and peers, people their own age.
I think this is our purpose here, is to help find a drug that'll modify some of the symptoms and ultimately raise money to put, that towards research and finding that cure.
National organizations like the National Ataxia Foundation work in alliance with support groups like the DeMints to help increase awareness, which will increase funding for research to help families that are new to advocacy like the Ramazios. Remember, a mother's life is full of surprises. Knowing how to plan for her child's success or sidestep life's disappointments is the result of maternal wisdom and perseverance. A mother's keen sense recognizes what benefits the lives of all in her family. Share with us your motherly wisdom tips to benefit all in your family at facebook.com/Rose Lee Show or follow us on Instagram @The Rose Lee Show. And watch this episode and many others here at Ion Television or 24/7 at RoseleeArcherShow.com. Thanks for joining us this morning, and we look forward to seeing you soon.